What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas. Now, before I get into that fight, let me just say it amazes me how when a fighter clearly loses a fight, the fans are always, oh, it was a robbery. Where was the robbery, people? Look, Mark Magsayo, he he dropped Rey Vargas. Yes, he did that. But he dropped him and pretty much Rey Vargas got up and he did what he had to do, man. He took over that fight and he edged everything out. Um, I don't feel it was a dominating performance, but it was precise. It was clear who was winning that fight in my eyes. I don't know how you guys are looking at it, but Vargas won that fight. Well, there was no robbery. Okay, let's be honest. Mark Magsayo is one-dimensional. He can punch, and basically, whenever you have a puncher, it's like people just they're waiting for that moment. They're anticipating that when is he gonna crack him, right? And yeah, he dropped him. He didn't finish him, and he abandoned his jab. He headhunted all night long. He was throwing nothing but power shots, and pretty much no body work. No, didn't mix anything up. He was predictable. Rey Vargas did enough to win, and 115 to 112, I believe, is definitely like yeah, because that's how I saw it. Now, the winner, Rey Vargas, he's supposed to fight Figueroa, who stopped, Castro earlier, and basically, you know, should be a good fight. Now that Gary Russell is not the champion, I'm pretty sure he wants to get his title back, but maybe now you can get some life in the division where people will start to, have noticeable fights. Every time Gary Russell fought, he fought like once a year, and it was always a mandatory, and nothing was really going on. So it was almost like he had the WBC title hostage. And I like Gary Russell as a fighter. I just don't understand, the way his career was being moved. It was just like, I mean, really, what are you doing? When are you going to get in there and fight someone, man? So that time he spent calling out, saying Terrence Crawford's name and all these guys that are not in his division. He didn't mention not one person in his own division that he had eyes on to fight. And pretty much, after all that talking about, I punched Terrence Crawford in the mouth, I did this, and I want to fight Devin Haney, I want Tank, and all this stuff he was saying. Well, you know, once he finally got in the ring, he lost the fight. We know how it happened. He got injured, and we saw what happened. But at the end of the day, if he can come back and if he can work his way back and reclaim his title, so be it. But that division needed some fresh blood, man. It needed something to happen different because, yes, Gary Russell was the longest reigning champion, and he had the title, and he is a very good fighter. But Gary Russell was not active enough. And as an ambassador of the sport, man, when you're in there fighting, I mean, if nobody's talking about your fights, doesn't matter how talented you are. If nobody's talking about your fights, you got to get things going and a different direction. So, again, there was no robbery. Like I said, man, Magsayo can punch, but he's one-dimensional. He's predictable. You can telegraph his shots. He was just headhunting, man, and that made it easier for him to be telegraphed. And pretty much, it was just the same thing over and over. And Vargas did enough. He did enough to win that fight. I do not understand why people, it's just bias. Robbery, right? What robbery, man? Where was the robbery, man? Where was the robbery? you're being outworked, you're being out hustled. He threw and landed way more shots. You know, Vargas threw way more shots, landed way more shots than Magsayo did. Where was the robbery at? Now, just because you wanted Magsayo to win, I mean, that's your right. But if you're gonna be fair, man, be fair. You know, there was no robbery. The man got out hustled, he got outworked, he got outboxed, he got outfought. Nothing he did, he was not able to regain anything. After dropping Vargas, he didn't do anything. He didn't do there was no, you know, he was trying to get him out of there, but there was no strategy. It was just, I'm coming to try to get you out of here, and it was repetitive. And watching this fight, how could you not see? I mean, where was the body shots? You understand what I mean? There was nothing. There was nothing other than just pressure, headshot, pressure, headshot. And he was missing most of those shots. So he didn't do enough to win. Vargas did enough to win. I think the right man got his hand raised. And let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.